What up? It's your boy, the Incredible Man. I know I'm late, but I just watched Black Clover episode 104. And as a manga reader, I know what's coming in the future. And I know that the fights that's coming are going to be boss and going to be wonderful and epic. But hands down, and I love some of the previous episodes, and I've even stated that some of those were my favorite. And I know what's coming. There's a bunch of other stuff that's coming that's going to be wonderful too. But as of right now, and I don't know, probably indefinitely, and I hate to say that because I know what's coming, but this was my favorite episode thus far. I told you guys multiple times that this was the episode I was waiting on. And this is the episode that I really, really, really wanted to see so much, man. This whole episode was so fantastic. And that was Luck versus Magna and Vanessa / Asta as well towards the end. It was the most wonderful thing. And they held true to the source material. This was straight out the manga. I felt everything. And there was moments where I teared up and I felt rage and joy and sadness and happiness and everything. And then when Asta showed up at the last possible moment to save Magna, I got goosebumps. There was so much wonderful stuff going on in this episode, and this is by far my favorite episode. I know I'm going to say that later on down the road when some other stuff happens, but as of right now, this is the top episode for me. You can't change my mind and fight me, and this is the best episode. This is the most wonderful episode ever. Even if that's not your opinion, that is for me because Luck is my favorite character. And I told you guys multiple times that the Black Bulls are the characters that I love the most. And this solidified that and showed their friendship and their bond and everything. And I loved every single moment of it. It was so fantastic. It was so fantastic. Let's talk about the episode, man. Okay, so it picked up right after last week's episode where we saw the base of the Eye of the Midnight Sun floating over the Clover Kingdom, and we saw where Vanessa and Magna saw the base itself, and then all of a sudden, the elf that took over Luck's body, something like that, something with an R, and he decided to attack the village while the base was headed to the capital, and he was demolishing the whole village, man. He was just knocking the buildings over, crushing rocks and everything else. So Vanessa and Magna decided them being magic knights, they had to go stop them and prevent him from killing people and damaging the town anymore. But I love the part where Magna was like, Vanessa, we gotta go, and she grabbed onto his bike, and he was like, why don't you on your own broom? She was like, well, this isn't the time to be bashful, just go. He's like, I'm not bashful. So I love that too as well, because we all know that Vanessa's fine. I mean, come on, let's be real. Vanessa's one of the finer characters in the show. But all of that, then they get there and they find out that it's Luck that's doing this, but it's not Luck himself. He's been taken over by someone else. And the funny thing is that, like, as a manga reader, I knew that's how it was going to play out. But at the same time, it was nice to see it be animated and everything, and see, especially for non-manga readers, that Vanessa figured it out in one go and understood all that just because of the little subtleties that he mentioned. And that's because Vanessa is from the Witch's Forest, and she understands a lot more about magic than your average Magic Knight does. And I love the fact that they emphasized on that, and she was the one to figure it out. So I love that. So then right off the bat, man, they're going back and forth trying to discuss and everything. And let's give it up for Rouge this whole episode, man. Rouge was the boss, man. Like, because he's part of Vanessa and he loves the Black Bulls, or he, whatever. She couldn't, like, I'm gonna say she really couldn't prevent them from like, without attacking, but she can deter their attacks, because every time the elf in Luck's body or something with an R or something, anyway, every time he would attack Magna, Rouge would make it veer off to the left or veer off to the right, and he would miss Magna completely. And even when Magna tried to attack Luck, Rouge made it to where Magna missed too, and that's because she doesn't want the Black Bulls attacking each other. And I love that, and I gotta give it up for Rouge this whole episode, because there was plenty and multiple times that Magna could have probably died, but Rouge stepped up and saved Magna countless number of times, man. And then that whole fight scene was epic between them. Magna was releasing a bunch of new techniques that we got to see, and the names are awesome. And I love the fact that he can make his fire disappear, and I love that. And then seeing the Elf and Lux body come through and manage and just put in work, man. Let's be real, he was putting in work. I mean, we knew he wasn't going to win because I was a manga reader, but to see him do it, he was putting in work, man. It was absolutely fantastic, and dude was going ham. And at that one point, when him and Magna was going back and forth, and he was like, "I got you." No, you don't, because you don't know that Magna. And you don't know Magna and Lux's relationship, and that Magna is willing to blow up himself just to land an attack on Lux, because they have such a bond and a strong bond towards each other, but a competitive bond as well. I love that, man, and I love the fact that every part of it was just so wonderful, man. And then this whole episode, what teared me up and had me going back and forth was when they were going back and forth talking about their bond and everything, and when the Elf and Lux body grabbed him and he was pretty much going to kill Magna, and Vanessa was saying that that's my little brother, and Magna was like, "I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to Luck, so get out here, Luck." And then a tear fell down his face. A tear fell down my face. I mean, there was so much going on, man. My emotions were super vamped, man. There was so much. But like their whole back and forth about their bond and how they love each other. And that's why I love the Black Bulls over any other Magic squad in the entire thing. I love the Black Bulls. The Black Bulls are the ones to love, and their bonds is just so wonderful to see every time on camera. But when that happened, and then Rouge was getting ready to disappear, and that whole time I'm over there. I'm super emotional. But that whole time when Rouge was about to disappear, he pulled the red string of fate, and it brought Asta there. And in that moment, I caught goosebumps like crazy, man. It was so epic the way that Asta came in and came through. And to me, it was straight from the manga, and I enjoyed every single moment. The animation, the only part I have to complain about the animation is, and let's be real, Luck looked absolutely fantastic, man. I love when dude took Luck's power and made it like super vamp with the horns and everything. So Luck, that's why Luck is my favorite character, man. But the only moments I had, and that's pretty much every moment in a fight scene, the rocks always look so weird and out of place when they're in a fight in Black Clover. Everything else looks fine and normal, but like when they have like the super high action-packed moments where they're fighting and rushing and chasing after each other like that, the rocks always look weird and out of place to me. But everything else was absolutely fantastic, man. And Asta was putting in work, and he was like, "How can you see me? How can a human see me? I'm moving too fast." And Asta was like, "Man, you ain't got nothing but rage flowing through you, and your ki, I can sense your ki. If it's all over the place, I mean, and this sword detects magic. So I mean, of course, I'll know exactly where to spot you at." So then dude was on it, man. But he even gave Asta a little run for his money. But as always, the Black Bulls came together and they teamed up and they took him down. It was so fantastic because he thought he had searched Asta's magic and he was going to go ahead on collision. But Vanessa pulled Asta back and Magna spreaded it. Oh, he hit it with the fireball, snapped the thread, and Asta came in for the kill, man. Well, not the kill, but the knockout, and boom, knocked him out, man. And then Vanessa and Magna were teaming up so Asta could free Luck. Hands down, my favorite episode, man. And I absolutely loved it. As you can tell from this video, guys, I'm super excited about this episode and what's to come, because there's some more great stuff that's coming. But this episode for me, it's just the highest point of gratitude for Black Clover, man. I absolutely love this episode because it had everything I wanted and it stuck to the manga, and I loved every single minute of it, man. This is your boy Dick Incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.